Cruiserweight grudge match between Bellew and Cleverly this Saturday in Liverpool. This is what Bellew thinks of Cleverly. It's a rematch. They met in 2011 and Cleverly won. Fraud, says Bellew about Cleverly. From F-R-A-U-D to F-R-A-S-E-R. Dainton, who is there watching Bellew warm up.
Yeah, fingers crossed he doesn't have to spell that one, because I've had all sorts of spellings over the years. He's actually in the ring now. We can take you in there. I'm joined once again by Anthony Crawler and Paul Smith, as Dave Caldwell is training Tony Bellew. And the first thing we have to look at, I guess, Paul, is the fact that obviously Tony now, he's stepped up into the cruiserweight division. He's had a couple of fights. They've gone a fair old distance, but one thing he's got plenty of, he's always had plenty of, is power.
He has, but I think that's going to be even accentuated even more at cruiserweight, and it'll be easier to see. Me personally, I've Andy's friends, obviously, and as a boxing fan and as someone who tries to do a bit with the media, I've always noticed when Andy, he was always, in my opinion, a little bit drained at light heavyweight and probably lacking a bit of power, what he has got naturally because of the punch technique that he's got. And the quality's showing now at cruiserweight, and he's a massive puncher. You know, I sparred him at light heavyweight, and I wouldn't like to at cruiserweight. You know, I've said that time and again. He's a heavy-handed kid, and it's showing more with the natural weight. You know, it's not just a jump up of 6 or 8 pounds or 4 pound like the lower weight. It's a stone and 10 pound jump up. That's a lot of weight for a natural puncher like Tony Bellew to have behind the shot.
A lot of power coming through as well, and now that he's had a couple of fights, do you think he looks a lot more comfortable this sort of way, Anthony?
Yeah, certainly. I think you could see the frame on Tony, and he just sort of looked a bit, he looks a little bit malnourished. I'm sure he won't mind me saying that. You know, getting down to light heavyweight, to see the frame on him, he just seems a lot happier, and it's just like a few days here now, he's laughing and joking. You wouldn't have saw Tony Bellew like that light heavyweight.
He has been pretty mean and moody when it's come to the weigh-ins on previous occasions at light heavy. In terms of his psyche and the way he's gone about things so far, he has been very, very keyed up. Is that a concern at all for you? Because Cleverly has seemed very, very relaxed.
No, it's not a concern, because I've knew Tony for a number of years now, and he's nothing different there. He's always been like that. That's just him. Some people will see that side of him, but you saw it sort of on the Sky Sports in the week when he met the family. He's just a family guy, nice guy. But once he gets in fight mode, that's his way of dealing with things. So no cause for concern whatsoever there.
And as much as we talk about the power, and as much as we talk about the way that he likes to go through shots, I think a lot of the time he doesn't get enough credit for the fact that he can really box when he wants to as well.
Of course he can, and listen, I've said this time and again, and I'm not just nailing my colours to the mast early on in the week. You know, it's a 50-50 fight, no doubt about it. It's a close fight, but the thing with Tony is, I've seen him, and we've seen him as viewers, box on the back foot, box smartly, move back. You know, educated fight, counter punching. We've seen him on the front foot slugging. We've seen him on the front foot work rate and pressure. And he can do it all, and he can adapt. With Nathan, when we've watched Nathan in the past, he's been quality at doing what he does, and he was world champion for it at the time, and rightly so. He's at that level, but it's always been the same type of fight, you know, marauding, fast work rate, fast hands. And no one could live with the work rate and the hands and speed that he had. But with Tony, he's got a brain as well. That's what people seem to forget about it. And he's been a boxing geek for a long time, and again, he won't mind me saying that he studies the game inside out. He studies every fighter in and around his weight, and he watches the fighters of old. And you know, he was always keen as mustard as a kid when he come in the gym and wanted to learn and was eager to learn. And started relatively late compared to other schoolboys and juniors as well. He didn't start till he was about 15, 16, if I remember rightly. But boxing-wise, you can see what he's doing now on the pads. You know, clever. It's not just walking forward, and he's waiting and waiting. He's feinting, trying to pick the shots. And at cruiserweight, that's what you need, because one shot can turn everything around.
It is going to be quite a tactical fight, Anthony. I think that's probably fair to say, because we know the strengths of each fighter, we know the weaknesses of each fighter. Is it going to be a question of maybe who can keep calmest and stick to the game plan the most on the big night when there's so much at stake here on Saturday? Yeah,
definitely. That's what I think. Whoever keeps the head on the night wins. And I think we've Tony in the past, when he's lost his cool a little bit, that's when we saw Tony Bellew not at his best. He knows how important this fight is to him. He said losing is not an option, so he's got to stick to that game plan Saturday night, and I do believe he will stick to a game plan. He's got to, but he can't lose his head in front of 11,000 fans, most of them being his as well. So he can't go in. It's Cleverly coming into the Lions Den, and he's got to let him feel that.
for the winner. Title fights, recognition, massive fights ahead. For the loser, what happens there?
I mean, we've heard Tony say that. I don't know. You don't know what to do. Losing is not an option. It's going to be tough. I'm not going to say they're finished, but the loser, it will be a tough comeback. The winner definitely goes on to a world title shot.
Well, I think it looks like Tony is pretty much finishing his workout there, so we're going to leave it while he does a little bit of pad work. Paul, Anthony, thanks very much indeed for joining me. We'll be hearing from Tony Bellew himself very, very soon. We'll hear what he has to say about the fact that he managed to put a bit of sticky tape over Nathan Cleverley's face on the backboard a little earlier and write the word fraud on it. He's never been short of a word or two. Hear what he has to say very, very soon here on Sky Sports News.